What we got in this video is a little comparison. It's a fun one. 79 versus the 300. Now what could we be comparing? What we have right here is bullet truck on a trailer, a 3.2 tonne. Both vehicles have towed to Mudgee with it.
Go the sewing machine!
The 3.3 twin turbo V6 engine producing 227 kilowatts and 700 Newton meters. On paper, making it the most powerful diesel Landcruiser ever. While the 79 only having a 4-cylinder 2.8, 150 kilowatt at 500 Newton meters. Now on paper, that's 70 Newton meters more than the V8. We're lucky enough to own both, and in previous videos I've said the best wagon and the best ute that Landcruiser's ever come out with. A lot of backlash there, but what I can say, it's the most current of the two variants. I mean, you're probably asking, how can you compare the two? Quickest car to reach 100. There's a little section here, a flat part of the highway, plenty of view behind me so I know I can take off safe, and I can see in front of me for a long, long way. The quickest car to reach 100. Please understand, we're entering a 100 zone. We're taking off from a safe spot with plenty of vision behind us. 18 seconds is the time to beat, and I very much doubt that the 79 will be inside 20 seconds. This is the very same spot that I took off in the 300 when we came last year to pick up Bullet, and I did a 0 to 100 time. So we've pulled over to check the trailer. It's a spot where I can take off safely, and I know that 100 is the speed limit. So basically we're gonna film, well, Nicholas is gonna film us getting to 100. I'll call done when we're at the 100, and we'll time it. We'll compare it to the 300, the V6.
Yep.
The little 2.8 sewing machine, power haul, drive. I'm not even gonna do it in the manual version because I think with Mum's I just left it in drive. So you got to come to the speedo, and then when I go, you pull it out. Ready? So we know when we're starting. All right, ready, set, go. Now you just hold it on the front. Oh, bit of wheel spin there. 3.2 tonne in the background. We've hit 40, 50, 60.
Go! You're not going.
It's
make
foot
it
flat.
to 100.
70.
You're not even gonna make it to 100.
80, 90. And 100. 25 seconds. So the 500cc's missing has cost us 7 seconds. Wow, that was fun. I might try and see if I can do this unladen. What do you think, people? But at 25 seconds all day long, I think that would beat the V8. The V8, it would be nowhere near that. It's a pity I never tried it when we had the old one. And I never get sick of saying it, I love this car. We've compared quite a few things between the two over the years. EGTs, fuel consumption numbers, even flex on the travel ramp. Well, what I have to say with the 79, and I'm not sure if it's one of those old-fashioned cliches, getting better with age. We're on 35s now. Yes, we've got the new 3.5-inch torquit exhaust and the Safari snorkel, so it should be breathing a lot better. But the fuel consumption between back then on the 285s and now, it's almost 3 litres per 100 different. So back then it was 18.4 litres per 100 that same trip we just completed, 15.8 now. While the 300, coincidentally, its fuel figures on that run were the same, 15.8. I'm not sure why the 79's gotten so much better. Whether it is the bigger tyre, it's breathing better, it's letting the gases escape quicker. The low RPM is what I'm putting it down to with the bigger tyre, but outstanding. Nicholas is actually learning about cliches at school, so son, that's a good one. Gets better with age. A little bit like your dad.
Well, that's stuck.
I mean, it's 500cc different. The technology the 300 has, it should wipe the floor with the 1GD. Look, both of them did an amazing job towing the 3+ tonne. But the clear winner for me was the 300. It just did it with such authority, such power. A trip out to Outback Signs to collect the canopy. Brad and Min did an awesome job. Cold out here, 0 degrees. I believe it could be even colder as the thermometer in this 79 doesn't go below 0. Gorgeous morning, sun's coming up. There's a blanket of fog over the road. So we've still got to fit it out, and it's just temporarily fixed on for now. I wanted to mock up these mini gates. We'll use a heavier gauge aluminium, but that's how I want it to sit. And the canopy's the wrong way round, so that plug will be at the headboard. And yes, Adam, I'll have it off before it comes in to get the braces done, because we'll be ripping this tray off, I believe. And how good did it come up? Outback signs. Brad's the man. I'll put a dividing panel in there, and Shell will work out how she wants me to do it. So we'll have the spare tyre fixed there, and then the angle will be sitting next to it. I guess I'd better measure that up, that it's going to fit. Taking our sponsors to Cape York, the Fruit Bat Falls that is, and we'll be getting a picture there ourselves this year. Back to fitting of the lights mission. We've been back to ARB and we've changed over that spot for the flood or the spread. So to determine whether we're negative switched, we've got our test light here, and I'm going to show you how. So we've got the plugs undone. So that's the headlight one. And what we're going to do, we're going to turn the car on. So we've got light to the one that's working, and then we've got an open plug. So if we've got 12 volt power at this plug for the headlight, then we're a positive switch. We don't need to worry about getting the extra relay. We'll pick an earth. So what color wires do we have here? We've got reds, whites, blues and blacks. So you assume red for power. So the reds are the bottom two here. And I've got nothing. But what I'm thinking is that that isn't sharp enough to pick up the metal. So what we have to do is either grind down the point of that or stick a bit of wire in there. Alright, we've got 12 volt, so we're positive switch. So what we'll also do while we're here is we'll test which one's high beam. So we've got two reds, so one's going to be the daytime light and one's going to be the light. My thoughts are it's going to be the blue wire that is the high beam. So the blue wire was bottom left. So we have no power to the blue wire. Let's just make sure it doesn't touch metal. We'll go and flick the high beam on. So high beam's on. So 12 volt it is, and that's with the high beam switch on. Without it, there was no power. So what this means is I don't need the plug and play into this, and obviously we're going to be doing all this over there near the battery. It's just easier to take the plug out to test on this side. So now what we know that the plug and play doesn't suit my lights, so we're going to fit it up a little bit old school way. So where the plug and play would have gone from my headlight to the harness, we're actually going to cut this plug off. Yellow is going to go to where we just had power to the high beam. So we'll patch in the yellow wire to the blue wire that goes into the headlight. The black is earth, so that doesn't need to go into the plug, the harness. We can just earth that even to the negative of the battery. So that'll be what gives power when the headlights come on. And this here, this is going to complete the circuit. So this is going to go to either the daytime running light or the park light. So we swapped over the spot for a flood or a spread. And there's a little bit of information on the back. We've got different outputs, obviously, because this is a much longer distance. But for where we're going, up the Bruce Highway and up into the Cape York Peninsula, we're going to have the driver's side that's going to give us the long light, and then the passenger side is going to give us the side of the road for animals. But you can see here it's much wider, so it doesn't go as far. It still goes a hell of a long way. In the boxes, ARB have it with the red. That's how they sell it. But then they have the option to put the black one on. So with your Allen key, I much prefer the color of the black. There's not really much red at the front of the car. So it's a couple of Allen keys and you change it. Obviously ARB, red is their color. The other option I have is bullet blue. Now this has got quite a bit of weight about it, and you know, corrugations and off-roading, but the bracket is quite sturdy in itself. The holes are already on the bull bar, so ARB bar to suit the ARB light makes sense. The clear cover, but you can also get like an orangey type cover. What that might do on the highway, if you've got fog, yes, but it might not reflect as bad off the road signs. So we've got a set of those covers coming, and we can interchange just like we used to with the old light force lights we used to run. We had blue and yellow light covers on those. So now that we've established how we're going to set it up, the hard work's done. Make a little bracket up for the relays, and hopefully in the next video we'll have them on, and maybe I'll even do a little bit of an in-store video on them. I mean, the hardest part that I see is getting that in through the firewall for the adjuster. Pretty big plug. So we're going to end this video with a little bit of action from the kids at their local club day. Just a ride day, and the club's worked hard and they've opened up a new track with a couple of new jumps. So something different for them. And yes, the only 2 out of the dozen that even attempted to try and clear this. It's a double up or a step up, I'm not sure what you call it. But the problem we have now is Nicholas is so comfortable on his 85 small wheel, he's got no thoughts of going back to the 65 except for when we race in Goulburn for round 3. Have a look at the scorecard here. He's only 3 points off a third for the championship, with 1 round to go. Well done, son, sitting there in 4th place. And I have to say, it's only his first year in this group of 10 to 12-year-olds in that 65cc class. So he still gets to ride it if he's not too big for the bike next year, whilst competing on the 85 as well. Commitment shown by both Nicholas and Amelia to get this jump after quite a few fails. They want it bad. Yeah! Yeah! Head back to the normal part of the track now. Yeah! Now, it's actually been one of those seasons when pretty much every weekend this is how the bikes look when they get back home. Just been a wet year. I don't remember, maybe a handful of times that the bikes have come back just dusty. So obviously after a really good wash, the air filters come out, they get washed, and thanks to the Penrite products that we have, and then recoated. We do this weekly now. Same with the gear oil. I mean, the kids are pushing their bikes hard now. Generally ride about 5 hours of a weekend. The chain lube and any adjustments that are required, and then they go back on the trailer, ready for the next weekend. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.